Hey guys, we're back again with our book Hetty Feather Rate. So last time we read chapter Did You Remember? If you remember, then congratulations, you have watched every of my video. But if you didn't remember, then go back to my YouTube channel and see what chapter has we read. And also don't forget to subscribe our channel too for more interesting video. Okay, so last time we read chapter 5, and that chapter 5 is that when Gideon and Hetty found out that they have to go to the Felling Hospital next year. And also in that part, Hetty saw an amazing circus and she really wants to go there. But sadly, Jem didn't have enough money. And when they asked Mother didn't agree because she thinks that it's just some joke show. There's nothing interesting about that. So poor them, right? How are they going to go to the circus? How? Well, we'll see about that in chapter 6 about the way that they're going to the circus. How are they going there if they don't have enough money? Let's get started straight into the story. Chapter 6. I behaved in exemplary fashion all Saturday morning. I even ate all my vegetable soup at dinner time, though I usually fussed and picked out the bubbles of barley and carrot, refusing to eat them because they look as if they've been eaten already. Mother patted me on the shoulder. "Good girl, Hetty," she said proudly. "Now I'm going to feed young Eliza and have 40 winks. You children go and play and give me a bit of peace." Rosie and big Eliza went off arm in arm, talking big girl chat of dresses and hairstyles and boys in the village. Nat ran up carelessly, kicking a stone to meet up with his friends. That left Gideon, Jem, and me. Gideon looked at us happily. "What shall we play?" he asked. Jem and I looked at each other. "Hetty and I were thinking we might play by ourselves right now, Gideon," said Jem. Gideon's face fell. "Are you going to the squirrel house?" he whispered. "Well, we might be," I said uneasily. "But you're not allowed," said Gideon. "Mother said, so you better not come, Gideon, or you'll get into serious trouble," I said. "But I don't want you to get into trouble, Hetty, or Jem. Please don't go," Gideon wailed. "Shh, we have to go now," said Jem. "But I haven't anyone to play with," said Gideon, and his lips puckered. "Picturing someone, Gideon," I said. "Make them up. Here, I can see a little boy standing beside you. A kind, friendly boy. He likes dancing, just like you. You can dance together." Gideon looked around wonderingly, as if I'd actually conjured a child out of ether, and Jem and I seized our moment and ran away. There were children running from all over the village, courting couples, mothers, fathers, even old grandmothers and grandfathers hobbling along on sticks, all of them bound for Penniesman Field to see the circus. We could hear the drums and see the top of a great strip tent with all the red and green and yellow wagons parked in a semicircus behind. I couldn't see the wondrous flame-haired Madame Adeline or the tumbling boys in silver. I couldn't even spot enormous Elijah, the elephant, but as we entered the field, I saw the two clowns with red noses. Capturing at the entrance of the tent, there was a stalling selling sweet meats and another selling little metal clockwork figures, comical cats and mice. "Oh, Jem," I said, tugging his hand, and he bought me a penny gingerbread heart hanging on a pink ribbon. Now, we only have 1 penny left. We needed a whole handful of pennies to get into the tent to see the circus performance. Everyone was standing in a line before the ticket booth, handing over their 2 pennies and getting tickets in return. We watched 2 boys trying to run right past without paying, but a big man caught them both by the scruff of their necks and sent them flying with a kick to their backsides. I clutched Jem. I was used to being paddled, but I didn't want an ugly big man to kick my backside. Jem squeezed my hand reassuringly. "We'll go round the back," he whispered. "Nat says you can tunnel in under the tent, so long as you're speedy." I started trembling with excitement. We ran off, circling right around the tent. My eyes popped. There was Elijah, chained by his huge, wrinkled leg to stick, wearing a red and gold beaded cap with a matching saddle stretched over his vast back. He waved his trunk at us, then lifted his tail and did an unimaginable thing, huge dollops of unimaginable things. I started spluttering with laughter, but Jem put his hand over my mouth. "Shh, Hetty," he hissed. He spotted Elijah's strainer sitting on an upturned tub, smoking a cigarette. Jem pulled me flat against the canvas of the tent so that he couldn't spot us. 3 children suddenly came running past, squealing at the sight of Elijah in all his exotic splendor. The trainer man stood up. He threw away a red tailcoat, came running from the nearest scarlet wagon. He held a long whip tight in his hand. They moved in a flash, seizing their legs of the children as they wriggled underneath the canvas. All 3 were held out, shaken fiercely, and shouted at. The red-coat man cracked his big whip, and I shut my eyes tight. But I think he simply whipped the ground, not the boys. They were all crying now, even the biggest boy. He wore a blue cap stuck on his head at a jaunty angle. The red-coat man seized his cap and hurled it high across the field, and then all 3 were shoved and kicked on their way. My heart hammered hard inside my bodice. What if the man wanted to see Jem and me? I shook in my shoes, but Jem held me tight. "It's all right, Hetty," he whispered into my ear. "We won't try while they're looking here. We'll just have to wait patiently." We waited and waited and waited. We heard loud music inside the tent, shouts of excitement, roars of laughter. The circus performance had started. We were stuck outside, still intent on avoiding the eyes of the red coatman, the trainer, and Elijah, the elephant. The great beast raised his head every now and then, trunk high in the air, as if he was sniffling us out. He strained against his stick. I held Jem's hand so hard, my nails dug right into his palm. Then more men came, pushing a cage of howling hairy beasts. I saw their coarse dark coats, their long snout, the great teeth. And I thought of grandmothers and little girls in red hooded cloaks. The red man cracked his long whip and strode up after the wolves, all set to subdue them inside the tent. We heard gasps and cries and sudden bursts of applause. I fidgeted from one foot to the other, desperate. Still, the caged beasts were eventually wheeled back and off to the side of the field. Elijah and his keeper stayed swaying and sitting, while the 2 silver-suited tumbling boys came dancing down the steps of another wagon. They paused to rub their hand and a coat, their sparkly slippers with some dusty stuff in a box. "It's Rosen," to stop them slipping, Jem whispered. Then they gave Elijah a fond poke, turned a couple of somersaults for practice, and ran into the ring. We heard more clapping than a great ooh as the 2 boys performed some special tricks. I quivered. I did badly want to see the two boys so I could try to copy their tricks for Gideon. I was tired of standing so still, so scared of these big men with their whips and hard boots. So sad that the circus was happening without me. Perhaps we should simply run away as fast as we could. Jem felt me, fidgeted and put his arms on my shoulders to steady me, just as Elijah Trainer stood up, stretching his arms in the air. I froze, but all his attention was on Elijah. He went up close to the great beast, lolling against the huge front legs. Elijah lowered his head, waved his trunk, and opened his mouth. I held my breath, wondering if the beast was about to devour his master before my very eyes. But the elephant looked as if he was smiling. He slowly and tenderly grabbed his trunk around the trainer's neck and shoulders so that they stood in weird embrace. Jim and I stood there, breathless. Then the man muttered something. Elijah unwound his trunk and stood majestically to attention, head up, trunk forward, ears alert. The trainer unhooked his chain from the stake and strode forward in his shiny boots. Elijah followed meekly, like a great gray wrinkling dog on a lead. They disappeared inside a flap in a tent, leaving only a mound of elephant dung on the grass. "Quick, Hetty, this is our chance," said Jem, pulling my arm. We darted forward, praying that no more men would come out of their wagons and catch us. We could see one of the circus men standing by the tent flap, pitchfork in hand. We couldn't simply follow Elijah and his trainer, or we'll be skewered. Jem ran round to the side and fell to his knees with a bump, as if in prayer. Then he stuck his head under the tent canvas. He pulled at me to do the same. I copied him obediently, though I was terrified my head would be prodded with a pitchfork on one side of the canvas, my backside kicked by a boot on the other. But I wrinkled forward on my tummy into the hot, noisy tent. And at last, we were both safe inside. The ring was brilliantly lit, but the spectators all around the tent was in darkness. We could just make out circles of seats, rising in tiers, jammed back of the tallest tier until we reached an aisle. Now we had a proper view of the circus ring, scattered with sawdust and edged with a little red wool. Elijah was in the middle of the ring on his hind legs, waving his trunk triumphantly while everyone clapped. The audience was so absorbed that no one noticed as we crept forward and slipped into two empty seats, almost at the front. We watched Elijah perform his tricks while the silly clowns with red noses, darted in and out of the ring, pretending to be scared of him. Then Chino took a clockwork mouse out of his pocket and set it clinking and squeaking. And Elijah lumbered across to a big box and climbed right up on it, as if he was terrified in turn. The trainers pretended. What I was reading at, to be frightened too. So Elijah bent his head, took him in his trunk, and lifted him high in the air away from the scurrying mouse. Jim and I laughed heartily, loving their antics now that we were safe in our seats. When Elijah eventually plodded out, the clown stayed in the ring, capering with some of the children in the audience and playing with buckets of water. "You can run down and join in, Hetty. I've saved your seat." I shrank back shyly, not liking the funny clowns with their painted face and clumsy clothes, scared they might throw their buckets of water over me. It's not like you to be bashful, Hetty, said Jem, putting his arm round me. Are you pleased we got into the circus? I told you I'd find a way. I'm very, very pleased, I said. The band struck up again, and a plump lady in a tight magenta costume came dancing into the ring. She ran over to a vast ladder at the side and started climbing up it, rung after rung, up and up and up and up. As nimble as a squirrel, she reached a little platform right at the top and clasped a long pole waiting there. We saw a taut rope stretching all the way across the tent, high in the air. She was Flora the tightrope walker. The lady gave a flourish, seized her pole, and stepped out onto the rope. She walked right along it, even pointing her feet and dancing as if she was a magenta fairy lifting through the air. It hurt my neck to watch her, and I could hardly breathe because I was so scared she would fall. Jem had warned me many times that I mustn't ever try to edge along the tree branches in her squirrel house. He nudged me purposefully now. You mustn't try this, Lord Hetty. Promise, he whispered. My Lord, isn't she amazing? We watched as if she skipped along, walked backwards, even sat upon the rope, arranging her deep pink skirts around her and taking a book out of her pocket, pretending to read. These seemed marvels enough, but when she advanced all the way over to the other side, she took something from under a cloth on the other lofty platform. It was a little perambulator on two wheels with a baby doll sitting up inside. She took the vehicle wobbling alarmingly, so that we all went, ooh. Then she balanced it on the rope, with Dolly still inside. Flora walked steadily back across the rope, as casually as any mother, wheeling her baby. When at long last she reached the other platform and took her bow, she seized the doll and made her take her bow too. Then Chino the clown came capering back with his silly friends, Papo, plus two very little clowns in comical baby gowns with woolen booties on their feet. They had grease paint on their faces and silly red nose. At first I thought that they were simply child clowns, but then I spied a flash of silver beneath the baby gown and realized they were two tumbling boys dressed up. They kept playing tricks on the clowns, leaping up into the air, landing on their hands, and they're walking upside down all around the ring. There was a lot of fun and games with bottles and napkins. Jem laughed so much he nearly fell off his seat. Then at last all four clowns took a bow and ran off. That seemed to be the end of the circus because everyone clapped and they stood up, stretching. Ooh, I said. Oh, dear Jem. What is it, Hetty? Aren't you enjoying the circus? Jem asked. I think it's wonderful, but now it's ended and I didn't get to see her. The lady in pink spangles with red hair. My lady, I said, nearly in tears. It's all right, Shirley. She'll be in the second half. This is only an interval. Hetty, there's a lot more to come, I promise. Really? And so we haven't missed her. We really will see her? Yes, we will. She's the one I like the best, I said, but you haven't even seen her perform yet. I still know. I like the clowns. They're so funny, said Jem, chuckling. I should so love to set folk laughing like that. We could have our own circus, I said. You could be a clown, Jem, and Gideon can be a boy tumbler, and I will wear a short pink skirt and ride on my horse. Let us run away and start a circus, you and me and Gideon. Then I won't have to go to the hospital, I said earnestly. I wish we could, Hetty, said Jem, looking rich. We could maybe have a circus when we're married. Perhaps we could start a farm circus and you could train a piggy stand on a tub. And get the chicken to cluck in time, and set all the goats dancing. He went on trying to humor me. Here now, Hetty, eat your gingerbread. He was trying to distract me. I did have a very sweet tooth, so I set about eating my biscuit, though it had cracked and crumbled. Rather, when I giggled under the tent flap, I insist on sharing it with Jem. We ate every crumb until only the goat star was left. Jem stuck that on my forehead. Then the band struck up. The clams capered with anticipation. I saw a gentleman throwing seal barking for fish, and a man eating fire as casually as we've eaten our gingerbread. But I was still restless and unsatisfied. But then, right at the end, the ringmaster cracked his whip and announced, "Now, ladies and gentlemen, girls and boys, Tagglesfield Traveling Circus is proud to present Madame Adeline and her troupe of Rosenbach performing horses." I sat up straight as 6 sleek horses cantered into the ring. I was used to Dolben and Rowley, the great Shire horse in Father's care at the farm. These dancing, prancing horses seemed an elvish breed, so small and dainty. 2 were spotted, 2 piebald and 2 gray, all with their manes and tails flowing long and silky. Madame Adeline sat on the first gray, which was almost pure white, but with a sulky black patch on one eye, so that he looked as wicked as a pirate. His arch, his neck, and step precisely in time with the music, clearly proud to have Madame Adeline on his back. She looked so beautiful in her pink spangles and short frilly skirt, her flame-colored hair piled on her head, and a black ribbon round her slim white neck. She stood up on the back of the pirate horse, straight and proud, arms high in the air, never faltering. She smiled at our applause and called something to the other gray horse. He galloped faster and faster. As he drew alongside, Madame Adeline leaped from one horseback to the other, landing with fairy-likeness. She leaped on from one eager horse to another. She swung herself down till her toes touched the sawdust, then up over the side of the horses. She even stood on her hands while he cantered. I watched her open-mouthed, marveling. Madame Adeline jumped through a hoop and landed lightly back on the pirate horse, uneasily as if she was skipping down the village lane. I clapped until my hands were sore. She slowed to a trot, I still standing, waving at all of us. I waved back quietly, desperate for her to see me. "Hello, children," she called. I piped hello back, standing up in my seat. "Who would like to come and ride with me?" she said. I didn't wait for a second. I hurtled out of my seat. Jem tried to catch me by the hem of my dress, but I was away and rushed frantically for the ring. There were already children right at the front, hopping eagerly over the red wall into the circus ring. Madame Adeline was laughing, pointing, and picking her rider. No, pick me!" I screamed, still running. I tried to jump down the steep wooden step, lost my footing, and hurled forward, tumbling head over heels. "Oh my, here's a little acrobat," said Madame Adeline as I lay with my face in the sawdust, totally dazzled. I felt her strong hands lifting me up. I stood there, trembling. She was even more beautiful close up. Her hair was bright red, her face powdery white, though her cheeks were a delicate pink, and her lips thrilly dark and shiny. I looked up at her and felt totally in love. "Are you all right, little one?" she asked softly, as if we were alone together, not watched by an audience of hundreds. "I am. Oh, yes, I definitely am," I said, tossing my hair out of my eye. "You have lovely red hair, just like mine," she said. "What's laughing?" What's your name, child? I'm Hetty Feather, ma'am, I whispered. How old are you, Hetty? You speak very nicely. Yet you can't be more than 4? I'm 5 3/4, ma'am, just more for my age, I said. And you want to ride my horse with me, little Hetty, more than anything. She laughed again, her teeth white and perfect, her lips gleaming. Then so be it, little star, she said, touching the gingerbread star still tucked to my forehead. She lifted me up, and I found myself sitting on the smooth, hot back of her horse. She swung herself up behind me, gave a little clucking sound, and the horse started trotting slowly around the ring. I heard loud clapping all around the circus. Oh, my word, they were clapping me. I stopped clutching the horse's beautiful white mane and waved one hand in the air in acknowledgement. Madame Adeline chuckled. You're a real showman. All right, little star, let's pull a few tricks for the audience. She clucked again and our horse started cantering. She held me tightly around the waist, but I wasn't a bit scared. I ducked with my horse and started my back to keep my balance. I heard Madame Adeline laughing approvingly. Faster, she murmured. Yes, faster, faster, I said. She clucked and our pirate horse gathered speed, galloping now, overtaking all the other horses, round and round and round. And we performed so many tricks. And then it's time to say goodbye. Goodbye, little star, Madame Adeline called, kissing her hand and waving just to me. I waved and waved back. Then everyone paraded out of the ring, and the band stopped playing and the audience stopped clapping. Everyone started filling out. Jem pulled at me, but I clung to my seat, not moving until that was left of the show was an empty tent and dirty sawdust. Then I burst into tears. Whatever's the matter now, Hetty? Asked Jem. I want the circus back, I wept. You're an absolute limit. Aren't you ever satisfied? You're still the circus. In fact, you're being the circus, doing your double act with Madame Adeline. I want to ride with her again. Oh, Jem, let us go and find her. Don't be so silly, Hetty. She'll be the one of the wagons at the back of the tent with those big bad men who will catch us and whip us. I don't care. I want to see Madame Adeline. I have to see her. She will want to see me. I'm her little star, I bellow. You are little what's it, said poor Jem, giving my arm a shake. Why won't you ever see reasons, Hetty? I try so hard to please you, but it's never enough. I felt bad then, but not enough to modify my behavior. I pulled free from Jem when we got outside the circus tent, ready to run right round to the back. I wasn't looking where I was going and fell headlong over a long rope, snaking across the grass. I banged my head hard on a tent peg and hurt so much I burst into fresh floods of tears. It hurts, oh, it hurts, I wailed. It serves you right, said Jem crossly. But he knelt down behind me and cuddled me close. It'll make me cry harder. Is that our Hetty screaming? It was Nat, jostling his way through the crowd. Did you get to see the circus? He said, sounding awe. I tried with some of the village lads, but we were all chased away. You two are so lucky. So why is Hetty bowling? My lord, she's gonna have something to cry for when we get home. Mother is beside herself and father is furious. You're in the right royal paddling, you three. What do you mean you three? Said Jem. I scrabbled to my feet, scrubbing at my eyes and runny nose with the hem of my dresses. Yes, you're ready for it now, Nat chuckled hurtlessly. Mother's been searching for you for hours. Seems she wanted Kitty for some trifle, and then she couldn't find any of you. Eliza said you might have gone to the circus, but Rosie pointed out you have no pennies. Mother's so demented. She feared you've all been stolen by the circus men. I wish they would steal me, I said, sniffling. I want to be with Madame Adeline. Madame Addie who? Said Snacks. Not the woman in the parade showing off all her legs as bold as brass. Should have heard what the lad said about her. Don't you dare about her in that way, I declared, flying at Nat, ready to reach up and pull his hair. Jem held me back and shook me hard, shocking me into silence. Shut up, Hetty, or I shall slap you, he said. He turned to Nat. You said 3. Is Gideon missing too? Yes, that's why Mother in such a particular fret, said Nat. We all told her to be fine so long as he was with you, but he isn't with you, isn't he? He has to run out by himself. He was never with us. It was just Hetty and me. Oh, Nat, Gideon is truly lost. And that is it. Gideon is lost. In chapter 7, will his parents and Nat and Gideon and Hetty find back Gideon? Well, we'll find out. Bye, guys. See you next time for more. Bye.